As this war has progressed, we have seen a steady escalation in the scale of war crimes. The Russian invasion itself, a war of territorial aggrandizement against a sovereign state, is itself a crime against peace. We've seen the shelling of apartment blocks and residential communities as violations of the Hague Convention and the Geneva Conventions, and the forced resettlement of orphan children to Russia as a crime against humanity, against the Genocide Convention. But over the course of the past month, we've seen what feels like an escalation in the savagery of the war crimes being committed on the ground. And there have been horrific videos of Russian soldiers castrating and executing prisoners of war. Do you think that this represents an increase in the determination of the Russians to win at all cost? Does it represent desperation by their troops? And do you think that there is any real possibility that once the war is over, the perpetrators of these crimes will be brought to justice?
No, it's a great question. And I even personally, as a person, struggle watching some of the things that are seen. And these are only the things that get seen. I wanted to emphasize when we see things like that, like the castration of a bound Ukrainian uniformed prisoner of war by a Russian uniformed soldier, that people don't allow that just to do the whataboutisms, right? This is just what Russia does. It happened here, here, and here, or even to say like, ISIS and other evil things that have happened. This should remind the world that this isn't a bunch of rogue soldiers. This is a nation state with its uniformed military, either addressing, condoning, ordering massive genocide. I mean, this is just what everywhere that has been liberated, where Russians occupied, it's just been horrific, from raping babies to massive executions and torture. I mean, this latest video that you're talking about, which I unfortunately watched, is just another reminder of even what we don't see, but it should show that this is literally an entire military that has dehumanized the Ukrainian people, and it's literally the precursors to things that have happened in the past that we said we would not allow to have. I hope it reminds. I hate that to see it. It frustrates me as a person, but I also understand how all the kind of lines that have been drawn. But this should remind all of the 50 plus nations now, as we're speaking, that are now supporting Ukraine against one nation, who tries to get nations like Iran to support them, but that they're committing evil atrocities in this sovereign democracy. And I hope that spurs amount of support that is greater than today, because I personally think it's just not enough, and we'll probably talk about that. It's just not enough for Ukraine to succeed, even at the tactical level in all these areas. But yes, I mean, modern technologies make it. I mean, that one Russian soldier who did this one act has already been identified through amazing open source intelligence, and atrocities that were committed earlier were documented through facial recognition in places like Bucha and Irpin and Bavaria Oblast, in the Kiev Oblast. So I think there will be eventually, although there's a priority of stopping the aggression and making Russia stop and withdraw back into Russia, but I think there will be accountability. All this is being documented. And that's not my area of expertise. I think there should be a tribunal. I think the war crimes should be all the way from Putin himself down to the individual shoulders and accountability. We're not going to, Ukraine's not going to forget this. Ukraine has documented it all, and they should seek justice.